Hey, channel fans, this is Joe, and welcome to Slingin' Real Estate. I want to spend a few minutes this morning in early October 2024 talking about tools. And I don't mean hammers and saws and screwdrivers, I mean internet information tools. We all have a lot of information, a lot of data at our fingertips, more than anybody else in history at this point. And as a realtor, we have access to all sorts of real-time data that we can use to produce comparative market analysis, look up values, figure out what people paid for a property, might even have information on loan balances and other things that we use in our practices and as we're working. And these tools are incredibly useful. They're very fast, does a ton of work for you. But what none of the tools are capable of doing, and what a practicing agent, a good agent, has to do with clients is interpret the data. So what do I mean by this? If I punch an address into any one of several sources that I use on a regular basis, it will very quickly return to me a suggested sale price. Some, depending on how these are programmed, they might run more optimistic, they might run more pessimistic on pricing, and it's hard to know which one it is without doing a comparative sales analysis too, market analysis rather. So for an example of this, in the limitations that this data has, and platforms all have, and they all share the same problems, they can't look forward, and it's very difficult for the software to by itself put together an estimate of value when there's very few comparables. So here's an example. A client of mine is looking at selling his condo, and I was working with him the other day to suggest a price. There hasn't been a sale in his condo complex in more than 2 years, and prices are wildly different now in 2024, late 2024, than they were in 2022, the date of the last sale. So I'm looking at neighboring complexes, and some have swimming pools, some don't. Condo fees are different. All of these things impact value. And it took a few hours. We went through it, and we did eventually arrive at a suggested sale price for his condominium. But it's a perfect example of what software can't do for you that an experienced agent who knows the market has to do for you. It's obviously an important part of the whole thing too. When we list that condo, if we list it and the market doesn't like the price, it will sit there. And very often these days, I see days on market of 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, meaning very quick sales for homes and condominiums and such. And when I see something that's been sitting on the market for a month or 2 months, that means the market doesn't like the price, is mostly what it boils down to, or some very significant term or aspect of the property that's for sale. So reach out. Call to action is give me a call. Let's talk about pricing when you're selling. And obviously, I use the same data and the same sources when doing research for a prospective buyer to suggest an offer price, and to see if a price that is being asked is realistic, and enter into a negotiation with a seller to acquire a property. So I wish you the very best. It's a beautiful day. Get out there, enjoy it, have fun. We'll talk to you soon.